Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and we're playing around with Grid Legends again on Xbox Series S. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I want to take a few minutes to kind of explain why I decided to go ahead and repurchase this and keep it. So, I was a little bit hasty with my opinions when I first started checking this out. So, since I still had access to the demo, I kept playing around with it, and a lot of the problems that I was having, a lot of the things that were making me mad about, like the driving and stuff, were just all the little freaking all the assists were like already just were like turned on, and I didn't even go in there and check them out, and I didn't like the way the cars were feeling. But you go ahead and you turn all that stuff off, and yeah, this can feel a lot better. I will be checking this out on my wheel eventually. As far as the visual things I was talking about go, I mean, for the most part, this game does look pretty freaking good. I mean, if it is just a little bit on the soft side and a little bit on the I don't know. I mean, yeah, visuals definitely probably could be a little bit better, a little more crisp, a little less a little less foggy. But as soon as I turned off all of these settings and you know, and then the other thing, you know, being able to get into any of these races that I want, and to be able to pick whatever car I want and borrow the car and use it, that there definitely changed my mind a lot. I'm starting to like a lot of the tracks that are on here. The fact that it had Mount Panorama in there, it's got my Corvette in here. There's a lot of novelty things. It's definitely an arcade game. That doesn't necessarily 100% make it be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna play that because it's an arcade game. I mean, I play Forza Horizon 5 for freak's sake. So I love racing games. I always have. I always will. They are probably one of my top favorite types of genre of video games to play. So I really like playing these. So yeah, just kind of a no-brainer. So I decided to go ahead and pick this up. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it and keep playing it, have fun with it. You know, whenever I feel like it. I did kind of go back and I played the original, the other Grid, the other day, and I'm like, yeah, this one here feels a lot better. This one feels better. It definitely looks a lot better. There's more variety in what's going on. I did not buy the extended game just because of the lack of content the last one brought to it, but I don't know. I feel like this is definitely an interesting game. It kind of grew on me, you know. I came into this with, you know, probably a little bit too high of expectations. So that's kind of why I do that a lot, man. I have a tendency to be really easy on games, man. I love video games, and being able to experience new experiences and have fun with them and play them and do what I want to do with them. It just makes sense. So forget everything I said in my last video. I'm not 100% against this game. I do like it. It kind of grew on me. I mean, there are some things to nitpick about it, of course, but there's things to nitpick about every game. And as far as it sits, you know, this graphic wise, this does hold up pretty dang well. To be completely honest with you, I mean, the visuals on here are pretty freaking good. I mean, these trees look great. I just kind of wanted this to be a much sharper bolder image, but yeah, you know what? For what we get on here, like, this actually doesn't look too bad. It's actually a pretty decent looking package, to be completely honest with you. There are some lighting issues that I wish they would have fixed from the first game that kind of do bug me, but at nighttime this game looks pretty good. A lot of these tracks, the trackside detail is actually pretty freaking solid. I mean, this definitely looks better than Gran Turismo Sport for sure. I mean, lots of crowds, lots of stuff going on. If you look at, I don't know. I mean, the car models look a little boxy to me too, but for the most part, this game kind of grew on me, man. It did. It grew on me, and now I actually want to get in here and play around with it and have some fun with it. It's got like a really bold, overpowering look, and I mean, like, this is on Xbox Series S. This is a solid experience on Xbox Series S. To be completely honest with you, this game is beautiful on Series S. Like, really beautiful. I had to take myself back and like look at this, and I'm like, wow, man, like, this actually looks good. It performs good. The quality of the textures and like the detail that you get on the Series S version alone, man, like, I'm honestly more impressed with the Series S version of this game than I am the Series X version. The Series X version, I feel like they could have like cranked up like the textures and the detail and all of that like a lot more. But as a Series S game for me, this game is freaking pretty dang good. I mean, we're going to go to another location right now. I haven't seen the Chicago one, so I want to go ahead and check this puppy out. And I think we're going to go ahead and get into the Ferrari this time, because it lets me drive whatever I want, and that made me happy. That makes me freaking happy. So we're going to do a couple of laps of this. I haven't been to Chicago yet, so it's pretty nice to go ahead and look at this track. I love doing this. I love time trials or whatever, just races that don't really matter. I love to be able to experience this. Inside of these cars looks freaking phenomenal. Ooh. Yeah, this looks really good on Series S. Yeah, this does look really good, actually. Turning those settings down on this, turning off that stability control and the freaking traction control and all of that stuff, it makes this feel so much better. It felt too handholdy for me. It's like, man, gosh, you go to let off the gas and like the car just literally stops, and I'm like, what the heck is going on with this, man? Why does it feel like this? It just doesn't feel, it didn't feel right. Turning off all those settings, coming back to this with a different mindset helped me really decide to see the what this game really does have to offer, and this is definitely better than the last Grid game that came out. The fact that they brought drifting back, and drifting actually feels kind of good on this. Oh yeah, and you also have to turn off the drift counter steer freaking thing. Like, turn that off, because that thing just makes you it puts too much emphasis on like steering for you, as opposed to making you actually learn how to do this. And at first, when I was playing this the other day, I was like, my gosh, now I got to learn how to play another game instead of just actually using, like, my driving skill to get on it. And to tell you the truth, this feels amazing on a freaking controller. Like, this feels so good on this Xbox controller, it's not even funny. It almost makes me want to check it out on the PlayStation 5 too, but man, I don't know, man. I've already spent so much money on games. I bought 2 copies of Elden Ring so I could play it on both of them, and I'm actually pretty satisfied with the way that's feeling on Series X and S. So, yeah, I don't know. if I really even need that PlayStation 5 copy, but I will cover that. I will cover that. I am liking this game a lot more. The more I sit down and the more I play around with it, the more I'm actually feeling like, yeah, you know what, man, I do like arcade games, just not as much as I like sim racing now. And with the Assetto Corsa Competizione next gen patch kind of being a little bit disappointing. I mean, actually, that's not really disappointing to me, to be completely honest. I mean, yeah, it still looks the same, and if I had never seen the PC version, I wouldn't have been any wiser to what that looks like right now. So I can't really kick Assetto Corsa Competizione real bad, just because of the fact that, I mean, they ironed out a lot of the problems. They threw in my field of view slider that was most important to me out of everything. This game here has a field of view slider too. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, ooh, gosh, I like that. You know, not a lot of people like to play like to play these racing games in first person view, man. And gosh, it makes you so much better at like riding the line and everything that I highly recommend learning how to get around the track this way. It feels so much better. I mean, yeah, this is good. This is a solid racer for real. I'm confident in recommending this game. Yes, visual wise, at first it didn't stand out to me, but the more I play it, the more I'm like, wow, you know what? This really isn't too bad actually. I guess like I said, I was just expecting like this really sharp, really crisp, really highly detailed game. But then when you look at it, when you think about all the other stuff that this game has, a full, complete damage model for the cars, yeah, dude, like you're not going to get that on Gran Turismo or Forza. You're not going to get that on, a lot of games, but you're going to get that on this. You're going to get your car to be destructible and the other guy's cars to be destructible. Yeah, that's some good stuff to have in a racing game, especially like next gen, to be able to really show off the power of these consoles. Stuff like that kind of matters a little bit more than just a whole lot of extra polish at the end of the day. I've always been a fan of, I don't necessarily want my games to look realistic. I want my games to look cool, better than realism, because you see realistic stuff every single day. I want to see some stuff that just looks cool, and for the most part, this does that. It does fulfill that gaming fantasy of wanting things to look cool. Like it does look cool. It does have a solid artistic touch to this game that it did grow on me. And I'll be completely honest with you, it did have to grow on me. And my snobby little attitude about looking at things first and being, ooh, gosh, man, I'm so snobby about it. That just goes to show you, man, that like, yeah, my opinions on stuff, they don't always stay the same. I'm not just one of those kind of gamers that are like, oh man, I hate that, so it's trash. No, man, I sit back and I look at things a little bit, before I completely pass judgment on things, and I do put the effort in and the time into to actually give things a chance and let it grow on me. And this one did, man. I mean, after my like, ooh, gosh, I gotta not have that, because I was like, oh, I just don't think I'm gonna play it, and then all of a sudden, like, all I'm doing is thinking about playing it. I'm just thinking about playing it, and getting some time in between this and Elden Ring. I mean, Elden Ring I'm going to be playing a lot of, but this right here, I want to be able to get down on this one, because I definitely like this a lot more than I liked the last game. So that's my new impressions for it. That's how I'm feeling about it now. There's a lot of things I like about it. There's still some things that I'm like, ooh, but man, they're not that big of a deal to where it's a complete no. You know what I mean? Like I'm having fun with this. The more I play it, the more I enjoy it, the more I want to play it. it really did grow on me, and I think there's something here. I do. I think there's something here. I think this is a solid, 100% solid Xbox Series S purchase. If you got an Xbox Series S, yes, this game is freaking phenomenal. This is the highest detailed Xbox Series S game, aside from Forza Horizon 5, that you're going to be able to get right now, that actually like punches well above its weight. This looks freaking good. This looks clean. This looks next gen on an Xbox Series S on a 1440p monitor. Now, when you look at the Xbox Series X version, I mean, it looks good. It holds up great on a 4K TV, but I'm still trying to, I still probably going to have to wrap my head around that one, but I would really like to see that one. Maybe have some higher res details. Now I noticed this got an update today. This downloaded a patch, so maybe the visuals got changed up a little bit, because this car right here kind of does look a lot sharper now than they did before. So yeah, I think we're onto something with this one, guys. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a couple more videos for you to watch, and I will see you in the next one.